Hi, welcome once again to Route 66. We are taking a ride through the Bible and we're stopping and looking at all the sites along the way, just like they would have done back on Route 66 with all the stuff that was there and designed on that very long road for people to look at, people to do, people to experience. We're actually in the very first book of the Bible, book of Genesis. We've done a lot of episodes so far and we've made it all the way up to Genesis 2. This is going to be a very long series, isn't it? Yes, it is. But we're going to get there eventually. We got plenty of time. There's no rush. And so Genesis chapter 2 is where we are, where we're now looking specifically at the creation of Adam and Eve. First thing you notice in God as he's creating the first two humans is that Adam was formed out of the dirt on the ground, confirming that boys are indeed made of slugs and snails and puppy dog tails. Okay? Right out of the ground. In fact, the word for man in Hebrew is Adam. And the word for ground in Hebrew is Adamah. A little bit of a word play there because the Adam, man or earthling, is taken from the Adamah, which is the earth. So there you go. A little bit of Hebrew for you. File that away somewhere. You can remember that. Second, you discover that humankind is animated or brought to life by God's breath or spirit. This confirms that for humans, in humans, there is divine essence or image, as we are finding it written in Scripture. And God breathes His Spirit and breathes life into them. We are spiritual in nature. Third, as an example of humanity's participation in divine image or creativity, you discover that God gives to Adam the job of naming the animals. The responsibility emphasizes the difference between humans and animals. While animals have language, and they can communicate, it appears, to one another, some will even have names because, well, humans name them. But man himself, Adam, was given the task of giving the names to the creations of God. Part of that inner working of how God deals with humans and makes man and woman the crowning jewels of His creation. And fourth, you discover that humans need each other. God expresses this in Genesis 2:18 when He says it's not good for man to be alone. In that moment, then God performs the first surgery, even administering the first anesthetic. God causes a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and while Adam is under, if you will, God removes a part of his side and forms a woman. That the woman came from man's side has led people to believe sometimes that somehow woman is inferior to man. That's not the case. The text expresses nothing of the sort. As a matter of fact, you find validity in the exact opposite, because God has taken Adam, put him to sleep, and woman doesn't come from the ground as man did. She doesn't arrive second from the dust of the earth. She is a part of man, part of humankind, part of Adam, taken from his side by side, equal. And so there is an intimate relationship that is designed here for man and woman, and there's an intimacy that they have, and that intimacy starts with God, where God breathes life into them. And so as God does that, then God does something else. After God forms woman, He then performs the first wedding. And so when man wakes up, God escorts the bride down the aisle in the Garden of Eden, which is the ultimate garden wedding. God then presents the woman to man and performs the first ceremony. God is behind all of that. And you say, well, okay, so He walks down the aisle. Did He really? Well, I don't know. I wasn't there, but it doesn't seem so odd now, does it? And God gives her to man, and they are a gift for one another. The Garden of Eden was the place to be. And man and woman had every opportunity to live in paradise. And of course, they're going to blow it. And so as we continue our look in the book of Genesis, the takeaway here is very real and powerful in our culture today. God created man and He created woman. And He did what He did very well. He looked at His creation and He summarized, it is very good. And as we think about that, Remember, the uniqueness of a man and how he is created, the uniqueness of a woman and how she is created, is very much part of God's design. It's not for us as people to change, to tweak, to mess with, to manipulate. There's not a whole lot of gray area here. God made two very distinct types of humans. And then we are to flesh out who we are and how we were created to be in light of what it means to follow God and what it means to live in the world. If we could do that, it would eliminate a lot of confusion, a lot of heartache, and a lot of headache for people in the world today. And the fact that we can't do it speaks volumes about what we think about God, how much we value his creation, and how much we see the creative power of God at work in our lives. When you understand that you are a creation of God and you look in the mirror, you see yourself as man and woman, and you know that that's the way that God intended it to be. There's a powerful truth in there that somehow gets lost in our culture today, but yet is very clear from the very beginning of the creation of man. Embrace that. Hold on to that. Find your value in that. You are a creation of God, and that's good. I'd like to join you next time here on Route 66.